Hi, Crafty Nanny here. So today I am making something that we loved as kids and I still love, and so does my daughter that lives with me. And they are called Porcupine Meatballs. And this recipe starts with about a pound and a quarter of hamburger. And I always have my hamburger ground fresh when they have the round roast on sale. You can do that. I live here in Arizona, so you can do this at Safeway, or Fry's will also do it, but they don't usually have it on sale. So I usually get it at Safeway. Every once in a while, Bash's, which is more of a local place here, will also have ground chuck on sale, and then I'll pick it up there. So these are all the different things I use in it. I make it a little bit more nutritious. It's mixed up kind of like a meatloaf, but the added rice and the can of creamy tomato with basil, which gives it a little bit flavor. So what you'll need is that pound and a quarter of hamburger, and you will need yogurt, and I always use Fayet, and onion powder, smoked paprika, ground pepper, salt, and flaxseed. Nobody will taste the flaxseed in there. It's just, for nutritious purposes, and adds a little bit more fiber to it. And Italian style breadcrumbs, I always like the seasons. And yes, you can make your own, or tear up bread if that's what you normally do. But I prefer, it's so much simpler just to do the Italian style breadcrumbs. I also have my potatoes because this will be served with mashed potatoes, and they're boiling in the pot. And I do always use the Yukon Gold potatoes, and now I boil them in the jackets and then let them cool, and I peel those. And to those mashed potatoes, and everybody always raves about my mashed potatoes, I add, if I've got this, I have not as many as you, because I usually make mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, so I make a lot more. And so this is about half of so about 2.5 pounds, because I bought a 5-pound bag. So with 2.5 pounds, you'd use about a half of a stick of cream cheese. So you use cream cheese and butter to taste, however much butter you want, and then I use just salt and pepper, and I mix them up. So I think it's just the combination of the cream cheese and the Yukon Gold potatoes that really makes my mashed potatoes really good. It's really, really simple, and then I just mash them up, and then I usually whip them and get all the lumps out, although I don't mind lumps at all. So back to the meatballs. So now we're going to mix all of this together, and you're gonna mix this. I do have the rice in there. So the rice, I would say maybe a half a cup of rice. You don't want a lot of rice, because it's more or less of an enhancement rather than putting so much rice in it. Salt to taste, pepper to taste, maybe a teaspoon or so of the powdered paprika, onion powder to taste. And then you want to mix this up before you put the breadcrumbs in, and see what the texture is, and then add your breadcrumbs to make it the texture of a meatball. So here are the meatballs. I roll them about the size, I want to say maybe 1-inch type meatballs. Not very good with sizes, but I like the smaller meatballs. I do not like big fat meatballs, but it's up to you, whatever your preference is. You can make them bigger or smaller. I wouldn't make them too much smaller, because then they'll disintegrate into the tomato sauce. So you will need 2 cans of creamy tomato with basil. They also have one that's a chunky one, if you like chunks of tomato in your sauces. Then you can get mix 1 can of the creamy tomato basil with 1 can of the chunky tomato soup. I'm not going to fry these right now, so I will get back to you later. Hi, Crafty Nanny Cola back here. Okay, we're going to start frying the meatballs in a minute. I have just taken my potatoes off, so I'm using that same burner with my pan here. And I'm going to brown all my meatballs. I also saved the water from my potatoes. I did clean the potatoes really good, but all that potato water can be used for a lot of things. I may add some of it into the sauce, but you can also put these in a jar, and anytime you do like carrots, green beans, any kind of vegetable, instead of throwing away the water, just save the water, let it cool down, and put it in jars and put it in your freezer and save it as vegetable broth. And if you're also eat meat, then and you don't need just vegetable broth, you can combine it with broth from chicken that you've cooked in the past, beef that you've cooked in the past that you're going to use, where you're not going to use the juice in it, like in tacos where you wouldn't use all of the meat juice if you covered it with water in the crock pot, etc. like that. So what I've done here is I have put a little bit of oil in the pan, because when you do have the ground beef ground like that from the round roasts, you'll find that it is very lean. So, it's probably more than 93%. And I always use this Iberia and that I get at Walmart, and it's a sunflower oil and extra virgin oil mixed together. I used to be one with avocado, but they don't have it anymore, unfortunately, because I really like the flavor of the avocado. Okay, so I am going to start putting the meatballs in. Sounds like it's ready, as you can hear. I have 2 of these pans of meatballs like this, so we'll do one at a time and get them browned. That's one pan at a time, not one meatball at a time, sorry. I also think that I forgot to say that there is garlic in the meatballs. That's up to you. You can use fresh garlic, you can use minced garlic, which is what I do. I always buy minced garlic at Walmart, and that's what I use in all my recipes. It's just easier for me than keeping the garlic around. Because seeing there's only myself and my daughter sometimes around here, I have no qualms with leftovers, and I would eat these 3 days in a row and it wouldn't bother me at all. And most of the food I make is so good that you can't get enough of it anyway, so eating it for 3 days is fine with me. And it's better than going out for fast food, which I don't like anyway. So you want to get these meatballs nice and browned on either side. I am going to transfer my water into another thing, because I want to use this pan to do my meatball. So I'm going to transfer this into another thing. So I flipped the meatballs, and they're nice and brown on one side there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put those into this pot here. This is a 6-quart pot, and I really like the size of this. I use this for everything, plus it fits right in my refrigerator, so that I can go ahead and just warm it up for dinner, and I can get everything done in the morning, and then I've got everything ready, and all I have to do is when I'm ready to eat, I can eat, and that way I can go about my sewing or my crocheting or whatever other project I have going. Right now I'm making a scarecrow costume for my great-granddaughter for her part as the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to pause this and get the meatballs out. So now we've got all of the meatballs pretty much browned and in there. So before we put the tomato sauce, we want to get the basil sauce. Make sure that you have rinsed the tops before you open the cans. And I'm going to pour the tomato sauce, or the soup, into this pan first. and let all those crumbs and stuff that came from the meatballs get the flavor into the sauce. So just let that go for a few minutes, and then we'll be pouring it over the meatballs. Okay, so we have poured both cans of soup over the meatballs, and this is them. So I've got this right now on the smaller burner, so it will stay a little bit better. And you don't need to cook it long. You just want to cook it till the meatballs are cooked through. Sorry, I went to get rid of that spoon before it dripped all over my floor. And so just, cook these. I've got it on 5 right now. I'm going to let it just come to a boil slowly. And then once it comes to a boil, I will turn it down to simmer and let it simmer for maybe 10 minutes. Then I'm just going to take it off and put it in the fridge. And later I will serve the meatballs separate and use a slotted spoon to take the meatballs out, and then use the sauce as a gravy over the mashed potatoes. I know it sounds like it isn't good, but it's actually very delicious. It's one of my favorite meals. So I will be back later to show you the end result when I put it on the plate. Have a good one. And there you have it. See the potatoes underneath there? There's the meatballs, and there is the tomato sauce gravy. Yummy. I'll open up a meatball. There you have it. A little bit of beauty inside. There you go. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye-bye.